Hello, Amazon sellers. This is Jordan Malik, host of the Ask Jordan podcast. This is episode 119, talking about making money from Amazon in a different way, not talking about products. You'll understand what I'm getting to in a moment. This is a little diversion. So we were doing a whole bunch of episodes in a row. I think 114 through 117 was about getting discouraged. And then episode 118, we talked about Christmas, sourcing for Christmas. This is episode 119. I don't think I'm going to do any more of the discouraged thing, ideas to help you if you're discouraged, because we covered a lot of that in episodes 114 to 117. And I put links in those episodes for the full blog write-up I have interviewing experts on how to get out of that discouraged zone if you are discouraged. So we're going to leave the discouraged stuff behind. I think we beat that to a pulp, and I hope those episodes helped you a lot. What I want to talk to you is very different today. And I want to talk to you about, I got all these ideas clamoring around in my head. And many of you are looking at your existing Amazon business and say, okay, well, I got my Amazon business. I'm sourcing products. I'm selling products. I've expanded it to wholesale, or I'm doing retail arbitrage. And many of you are looking on the outside saying, how can I diversify my income? Right? So I actually have a free book for you that this is relative to, and the link for it is in the show notes. If you go to askjordan.net and look for episode 119, you'll see the link. There's a free book in there that I've arranged to get for you for free. It's the ebook version, not the printed version, called Silent Sales Machine 9.0 by Jim Cocker. Many of you know who he is. And that was my influence. I bought that book when it was a version 1.0, like, 10, 12 years ago. And that was the book that started me on the success path of diversified income. So I don't just have income from Amazon. I have income from eBay. I have income from Craigslist. I have income from my software. I have income from my blog. I have income from being an affiliate partner. So I have all this income coming in from different, these miniature, if you want to call them, some are mini, some are big, revenue streams coming from multiple places. So those of you who are in an Amazon seller business, you eventually want to think about not just selling on Amazon. You want to be selling on eBay or selling on your own e-commerce platform, but then you want to be thinking about, well, can I take the expertise that I've learned in this Amazon business and create a different revenue stream that has nothing to do with the physical product handling? And that's why I'm doing this episode, because I'm actually going to give you away some ideas that have been clamoring around in my head. In the show notes, for many of these ideas, I will give you a link or links on where to learn more or where to get started. And a lot of the information is inexpensive. Maybe some of the information that costs money. I mean, some of these ideas are going to require a little bit of a knowledge investment, that you're going to have to learn stuff. You're going to have to hire a programmer. You're going to have to put a lot of, elbow grease behind it. But the whole goal here is that if you are an Amazon seller and you're thinking, okay, how can I make additional revenue streams? Just in the event of your Amazon physical product sales dip or go down, or in the rare instance that your Amazon seller account is closed and it's your only source of income, that's a very dangerous position to be in. You want to be able to have revenue streams coming to you from different directions. And I don't have any interest in trying to, sell you something on this. I'm trying to just sell you on the ideas, so you can have kind of like this well-rounded look. And the whole nucleus of this comes from, Amazon is doing something that parallels, not Amazon isn't actually doing it, but this is a phenomena that parallels the Apple iPhone. The Apple iPhone came out, it was the iPhone, right? And then all these little mini industries started growing around the iPhone. So as opposed to just the Apple iPhone existing, there was industries that spawned around it, like, people that created special earbuds or special cases for the iPhone, or iPhone repair services. There's a whole big industry. I'm sure it's hundreds of millions of dollars, if you kind of put a dollar amount on it, on iPhone repair. Now you get franchises called like iCracked that repair iPhones, right? The apps that are stored on the iPhone, that's a multi-billion-dollar business that people are getting into. They're creating their own apps for the iPhone, or their own music download sites, or what have you. So there's all these ways that people have created money that surround the Apple iPhone. And the same thing is happening with Amazon, right? So now software providers are cropping up that are helping your Amazon business become more proficient. They're making money, right? There are drivers that Amazon is hiring drivers for that, what's called that last mile package delivery. So UPS and Amazon's own freight can't handle it all. They need drivers to pick up an item from an Amazon warehouse location or UPS or whatever, and bring it directly to the end buyer. That's like a new mini industry that's created around Amazon, right? Their expertise, people are using their expertise in Amazon. They're selling their expertise, saying, I'm an Amazon consultant. I will help you figure out what product to sell or how to package your product or whatever. Okay, so there's all these little mini industries that are cropping up that you can actually, it doesn't take much in the scheme of things for you to learn a skill set around an aspect of the Amazon business and capitalize on that. And that's what this episode is about. I'm going to just rattle some off, and where appropriate, I'm going to leave you links again in the show notes of where you can learn more for this. Accounting is a big question mark for a lot of Amazon sellers. I haven't found, I'm sure there's probably a couple pockets where this exists, but can I find an accountant online that is a quote unquote expert in the Amazon seller business? And the reality is that most accountants don't need to be an expert in the Amazon seller business. It's just a perception that most sellers have. They'll say, I need an accountant who's an expert in the Amazon seller business. So nobody, to my knowledge, and if there is this, it's very small and there's plenty of room for competition. Nobody has aggregated a group of accountants virtually online or whatever, or approach these people and say, look, if you have e-commerce experience, I need to create a directory. I want to have you in the directory. So when somebody comes to me and says, Jordan, or whoever is listening to this podcast, your name is Jane Doe. Hey, Jane, do you know a great Amazon accountant? Again, there's no such thing as an Amazon accountant. They're looking for an accountant who knows how to look at Amazon seller reports and advise them on how to track inventory or cost or whatever. And there's nothing like that out there. So building a website and building a website directory is something that you can hire a freelancer to do, $50, $100, $150, or learn it on your own. Take a Udemy course on how to build a website directory and start approaching accountants and get them, I don't know, maybe there's a way for you to charge a fee to have them included in that, in the directory. Or if somebody hires them, you have the directory for free for the Amazon-oriented accountants. Right. And if they happen to buy the service, there's a way for you to track the fees so you get paid from that Amazon, quote unquote, Amazon account. So the nexus of this aspect of what I'm saying here is that there's no definitive resource that I've seen yet where an Amazon seller can say, type in the words Amazon accountant or Amazon FBA accountant and get access to somebody who does that. If there is, it's extremely small, plenty of room to play in. Taxes, the same thing. Okay. Are there experts in taxes that you can approach? A lot of Amazon sellers have questions about nexus taxes or sales taxes, et cetera. Is there a group of tax professionals that you can contact, or one at a time, that would be willing to take on folks who have questions about taxes, right? I think there's one big company that does that. They're called TaxJar, and they provide software and maybe some free information around this whole tax issue. But there's plenty of room, wide open, for a group of experts to congregate in a directory or something. So that's by the same strategy as the accountants, gathering up accountants online, having their details there, and being able to charge a fee to somebody who needs them, and you taking a percentage, you as the owner of the directory or the website or the Facebook page or what have you, you being able to take a commission for that work. That's when an Amazon seller hires that tax professional. Okay. Third-party fulfillment houses. Third-party fulfillment houses, what do? Okay, so they're cropping up kind of around the United States and around the world. 3 years ago, if you bought a pallet of goods from China or Germany or the US or whatever, and you receive that pallet of goods at your house or at your own warehouse, and you have to go through the whole process of breaking that pallet down of those products, properly inspecting them, labeling them, shipping them to an Amazon FBA warehouse. Well, third-party fulfillment houses, or they call like pre-fulfillment houses, have been cropping up. Warehouse with a V is one of them. FBA Inspection is another one of them. Prime Zero Prep is another one. These are folks that have warehouse space, and they will, for a fee, approach an individual seller like me and say, Jordan, your next retail online arbitrage shipments that are coming in, or your pallets of goods from China, have them shipped to us directly. We'll take care of the whole thing of processing them for Amazon FBA. You don't have to touch them, Jordan. We'll take care of that for you for a per unit fee that's typically very reasonable. There's still plenty of room in that business. You have to probably know a significant amount of logistics. You have to have warehouse space. You have to be very customer focused. The capital to start something like that is probably pretty small, because all you need is a warehouse and probably a couple computers. And there's going to be a shakeout, I think, in a few years there's a lot of third-party fulfillment houses that have fallen by the wayside because they couldn't keep up. And the ones that are excelling now are the ones that invested properly in human resources and software, et cetera. But again, it doesn't require a huge capital requirement to get started, nor does it require a big learning curve, because if you're already processing Amazon shipments on your own, it's relatively easy for you to grow into handling other people's Amazon shipments. So that's another area. Amazon third-party fulfillment warehouses. You could actually start that as a business. Account suspensions. There are two experts that I know in the space of account suspensions. Feedbackrepair.net with Scott Margolis and Cynthia Stein. I forget the name of her website, but those are two experts that will help you if you're a suspended seller for a fee. They'll help you get your account reinstated. Well, what they know is not some knowledge that would take you years to accumulate. You might be able to learn everything you can about account suspension by searching online or reading a book or whatever. You may be able to learn everything in a couple of weeks. It's very possible for you to establish yourself as a suspension expert. And so when you have colleagues that are on Facebook that are Amazon sellers that got their account suspended, you can help them get unsuspended for a fee. Again, not brain surgery. It's just I wouldn't touch it because I don't have the bandwidth to approach something like that, nor do I have the patience. But there's plenty of knowledge out there where you could actually learn the procedures. Some of it is just taking it from Amazon's support pages, but learning how to properly address a suspension, right? So that is another area where the learning curve for you would be moderate. You could probably learn that in a week to a month, and you can hang out a shingle, create a free profile over at clarity.fm, where people actually pay per minute to talk to you. You don't have to do anything but create a profile and offer up your services. Somebody goes to clarity.fm and searches Amazon account suspension. Your name pops up. They call you and you earn a per minute fee for talking with them about account suspension. So, and that's another area that's kind of this mini industry that's booming, not booming yet, but a mini industry that's spawning now, where you could earn money, earn revenue around being an account suspension specialist for Amazon sellers. Drivers. I'm not sure if Amazon is actually hiring now. I knew at one point they were. If they are hiring, I'll leave the link in the show notes. Probably not a big money maker for you if you're already well along your Amazon seller business, but being a driver, not just for Amazon. I think a lot of e-commerce companies and brick and mortar companies are going to be looking for people, particularly this holiday season, to drive. I believe they call it last mile. I think I mentioned that earlier, last mile deliveries, where it's not efficient for them to have UPS. The Postal Service may take too long. They may be looking like Amazon has all these fulfillment warehouses and other hubs around the United States. They're going to probably be looking for drivers to drive the product immediately, come pick it up now from the Amazon warehouse or hub and bring it right to the local person's home. So that's another area that's going to be very big, is these drivers, kind of freelance drivers like you or me, people like you or me with a car, a reliable car, that are able to deliver goods to that last mile location. Okay. Pay-per-click ads, sponsored ads are called on Amazon, sponsored ads. I have people coming to me all the time, not all the time, but once, twice a month, somebody who has a product on Amazon that says, I have no idea what I'm doing with this sponsored ads, right? On Amazon.com, if you have a product on Amazon, you can right within your seller dashboard create an ad so you get better exposure. Your product gets better exposure on an Amazon product page. It appears as like a sponsored listing. So if your product is buried, somebody types in catnip, and you're selling catnip, but you're no longer on the first page, or you never were on the first page, you can actually have a sponsored ad where you can create an ad for that so you get some better visibility. You can actually learn a lot from what keywords people are typing. There's a lot you can do with that information when you start running that ad. And pay-per-click ads or sponsored ads on Amazon are very inexpensive to run if you know what you're doing. You can learn the whole pay-per-click system, and I'll leave a couple links in the show notes of where you can learn it. You can learn the whole Amazon pay-per-click system. It's relatively very easy to learn versus other online systems because it's very simple. You can learn that in a day. And you could actually hang out a shingle again on clarity.fm or create a Facebook group that's dedicated towards helping people run their pay-per-click ads on Amazon efficiently. I have to turn people away because when companies come to me and ask me for this, I just don't have the bandwidth to help them. So that is an area of expertise that companies don't even want to deal with. They don't want to learn how to do pay-per-click sponsored ads. They don't have the resources. They don't have the patience. That's where you come in as an expert. Pay-per-click or sponsored ads on Amazon. I'll leave the information in the show notes. Software. Many of you know that I am having a new podcast coming up any day now called Amazon Seller Software Podcast, where I review in plain talk a different software every week or every 2 weeks or whatever. In plain talk, I'm telling the listener about what the software does, why they might need it for their Amazon business, etc. There's brand new, virtually almost, comparatively speaking, brand new industry is people creating software for Amazon sellers. Jungle Scout is probably the biggest success story because they're so big now. They created a software that helps. It takes product research on Amazon, what used to take days or weeks to do it. Now you can learn what products are viable to sell on Amazon in just minutes using their software, right? OA X-Ray is an indirect competitor of mine. OA X-Ray is online arbitrage software, and that has been around for a couple of years, but that's a very intricate, elaborate software that searches products on other sites for you to resell that, for a profit on Amazon. My own Clear Platinum, this is Clear with 2 E's. I'm not telling you this, so you have to go buy it. CLEER, platinum.com. Very popular among Amazon sellers now. It's a very inexpensive piece of software that helps you quickly find products that you want to sell that you can sell on Amazon for a profit from other stores. It puts a lot of research of those products at your fingertips. But what I'm saying here is the software industry itself for Amazon sellers is still in its infancy. And it's very possible for you to look at an existing piece of software, OA X-Ray, Keyword Inspector, Jungle Scout, and say, hey, how can I do this better? How can I serve the market differently? And then hire programmers. Some of the websites to hire programmers are Upwork.com and Guru.com. You could hire a group of freelancers or a freelancer to help you develop software to serve a need within the Amazon seller community. Best for you to probably poke around a little bit and ask people, hey, I built software. What would you like it to do? That's a more expensive route to go in terms of finding a new revenue stream, as that requires a lot of intellectual capital between you and the other programmers that you're going to be working with to build this. And it requires a decent investment. You got to pay, a few $1,000s to get a in most cases, not all cases, in most cases, for a decent prototype software for you to have developed. But again, that's a burgeoning industry, brand new, still in its infancy. That's another way for you to make money off of this Amazon phenomena. So that's it. And I'm going to leave links that would help, either give you some ideas or help you get started on some of these aspects, some of these little mini industries I'm referencing in the show notes at askjordan.net, episode 119. Look for episode 119, or when you're in the iTunes and you're looking at the show description for episode 119, you'll see the show links there. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, click the show more link right below the video, and you'll see information and details about this episode, and the links will be included there as well. So I hope I created some interesting ideas to rattle around in your head about gaining revenue outside of just selling products on Amazon. And we'll be back real soon with episode 120. Hey, thanks so much for listening. You've been great. I enjoy hearing your feedback, and I'm so glad that you're loyal. And we're going to be talking to you again real soon. Stay well. Bye-bye.